Newsfirst Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.
Good morning and welcome to Newsline, live from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo. And joining me today is Bandula Jayasekara. Good morning, Bandula.
Good morning, Faraz.
And how are you doing today?
Good, fine. I'm going green.
Oh,
Dear Prime Minister's color.
wonderful. The Prime Minister is increasingly looking better and better as the days go by. And we're also joined by Maitri Gunaratna, attorney at law, amongst other things. Morning, Maitri.
Morning, Faraz.
How are you?
Fine.
And thank you very much for being on our program.
It's a pleasure.
It's wonderful to have you here. Hirunika in hot water again. What's going on?
That's what we got to find out. I mean, the expectations are high. I'm sure not only Sri Lanka, the world is watching. What is wrong is wrong. I'm sure, Maitri, you are a member of the Yahapalane.
How do you view it? You're a person from the legal profession, amongst all sorts of other things, but how do you view it?
I feel this is unacceptable. And if there has been a transgression of the law, irrespective of whom it is, I think they should have taken action. And this is not a case where a vehicle of hers have been used without her knowledge. When you see the incident itself, these guys have gone and apparently abducted this person and brought them to her place, and so there has been some kind of kangaroo court. So if she is involved, I can't see why the police has to seek the Attorney General's advice to prosecute.
It appears to me that the Attorney General is increasingly being used as an excuse, as a tool of excuse.
Yeah, what happens is, when there is a weak case, or when there is a case where the police want to please their masters, they put it on the Attorney General's department and they delay the process. Now, if you see, most of the suspects got bail in this case.
Yesterday.
So the heat is off, basically. So invariably the Attorney General's advice will come in another 4-5 days' time, and then this person can be produced to court and bail will be granted forthwith. So therefore that major issue of the inconvenience of going to prison or to the remand prison is avoided by this subterfuge.
Yesterday the road was cleared for Hirunika.
The road was cleared.
So this is a joke. This is what, okay, there were wrongs in the country. We should correct it. This is the problem we are facing.
Yes, because that was obviously clearly the problem that was under the prevalent under the previous administration.
Yes, but this government came into power saying that we will correct it. So the expectations are high.
Definitely.
Is there a need that we need to reach that target, that we need to also dismantle and sort of correct or fine-tune the Constitution?
I don't think for us, I mean, to do such a simple thing, you need to fine-tune a Constitution. There is the Criminal Procedure Code, there is the Penal Code, and any violation of that, a police officer, a judge are very well educated on these provisions, right? And basically, if they have been satisfied that there has been an abduction, these guys have been removed forcibly, right? Then it is simple as 1 and 1 is 2. I mean, then they have to file a B report stating the names, and the magistrate will give a order to arrest and produce them, or for them to appear before court. I can't understand why people cannot, if they have been in the breach of the law, come before court. If there is no need to worry, they can come and explain themselves.
So what is the procedure once the police file a B report?
Yeah.
What does that mean? What is
the B report is a document where when a complaint is made to the police, the police will do an initial investigation, and they are by law required to report facts within 24 hours to the magistrate of their jurisdiction.
Within 24 hours of the complaint?
Complaint.
Right.
So, moment the incident is reported, they do a quick investigation, record the statements to first to see, ascertain whether these are correct. And if they feel that it is correct, what they do is they report facts saying that, well, this is a first complaint, we have recorded the evidence of these 2-3 people, and this seems to be the offence. They file it to the magistrate. Then the magistrate will give them the necessary orders to do whatever they have to do.
Okay.
Right. So I am shocked that in a matter like this, that the police have failed to act.
But this is I have written. I don't want to mention their names here, but I have written about this. We have instances where a businessman was named in a B report and so on. But that was nearly 2 years ago. Nothing's happened since then. The police have named it and they've questioned him and so on. And this is all sort of forgotten. But is that because there's a wealth factor?
Maybe, definitely.
Wealth, power.
That's
what ordinary people have no say here.
Still, the police are mortally scared of power and wealth. So, okay, Yahapalana has come in fine. But for us to change this whole system, it is not like switching on, not switching off a light.
True.
Although the heads have changed, the bottom layer, right? You can make changes, but you can put A to B and B to A. But still, if they have not been used to doing the correct thing, they will always try to think crookedly. So these are the problems anyone who is trying to do it properly will face.
No, but Maitri, we change the leaders. I mean, the president and the prime minister they have the right, they have the powers to give strict instruction, follow the rules and regulation, the law. They can say that.
Definitely. No, but point is, Bandula, sometimes there are occasions where the people who are supposed to implement the law are more loyal to the king than anyone else. I mean, they want to show that they want to show the powers that be. Well, we are doing it this way, so that they will be looked after. This kind of thing happens rampant.
Yeah, but right now the world is laughing. Everybody is laughing, and people are not fools.
No, and even we are being questioned as people who fought very hard to bring this change. People are asking us wherever we go, I mean, what is the meaning of this? I mean, this is a question which I have to deal with almost every hour.
The three-wheel driver assured me several weeks ago that even though he has 20/20 vision, as in he doesn't need glasses or anything like that, he says he fails to see Yahapalana. So how true is that?
No, for us, I mean, yes and no, I would say. President Maithripala Sirisena, I think at a very difficult time, accepted the challenge of defeating the Rajapaksa regime.
Right, that's been accomplished.
That has been accomplished.
Yeah.
I mean, that act itself of defeating the regime, which was very, very steadily walking towards a dictatorship, is itself a huge victory.
Yeah.
We are today enjoying the freedom of that.
And we are having this discussion
because of this. And today, even if you take the media, right? I mean, the media has become so independent.
Yeah.
Even the state media.
Yes.
Right. And with respect to Sirasa, during the Rajapaksa regime, the only channel or one of the few channels which was able to impose a small threat even was your organization, because I mean there was some kind of it was against the regime at that time.
We had inspirational leadership.
So other than that, now you will see, I mean every channel is tearing the government into pieces, ministers into pieces, which is good.
It's actually, Maitri, it's yesterday was 7 years, the anniversary of the absolutely infamous attack on the Sirasa station and caused chaos, really. And just 2 days later, we had the founder editor of the Sunday Leader newspaper, Lasantha Wickramatunge, unlawfully killed. And that's tomorrow. It will be Lasantha's 7th anniversary of his death. And shockingly, no further information, really.
Yeah.
So, how do you change this sort of? Why is it? I don't know whether in England we're going to have to wait 7 years for somebody.
And of course, you have, earlier it was you were abducted by, says I haven't seen, but white vans. Now you have black defenders, and we might have all these things are continuing.
This is a serious issue, Bandula. I mean, okay, white vans, fine, right? But they were. It was only almost a story.
A story, yes.
But here, it is visibly seen.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
That's the difference. Yeah.
I mean, if I was arguing the case for the other side, right? I mean, I would have said, okay, show why, give us evidence of one white van.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, where it's reported in a courthouse.
Yeah.
But here there is black and white evidence, right, of black defenders coming. So these are issues which the leaders also must be aware of, and not let the Siyapalane be attacked.
But why are they keeping quiet, Maitri? Why is that?
That is a question, Madhura. I don't know. I can't answer.
Let me take the instance of your young son. He was, I think, 18 at the time.
Yes.
And he was attending a rally when you all were protesting the leadership of the UNP.
Yeah.
And he got beaten up. He was 18. What does that do to his aspirations for the future?
Well, I had hell to pay at home.
Yes, of course, I can imagine that your wife beat you up in your head.
Right.
It was a case of grandfather, father, and the grandson.
Right. So I had hell to pay at home, but I of course see it as an experience.
Yeah.
Because my sons, I have told them, nothing comes easy. You have to go it the hard way.
What's happened to that investigation? Will people identify that to who?
Yes, the cases are going on.
It's going on.
The cases are going on.
For how long will it go on?
Yeah.
Well,
people need closure.
I'm made to understand by this year that it will reach the trial stage.
Right.
So that matter will be sorted out at the trial stage. But what I'm saying is, as you said, Bandula, how long will this go on? I mean, all this has to change. Right? Minister of Justice, Mr. Vijayadasa Rajapaksa, President's Council, right? All that. I mean, what have they done to accelerate the process?
That's right, because there are on average around 900,000 legal cases, 900,000 cases that are postponed routinely each year. Why is that? I mean,
it's unacceptable. No one is interested. Now I know. I mean, you take a land case or a partition case.
Yes.
Do you know, for us it can go on for 3 generations?
That's right. I've heard that.
Right. It can go for 3 generations. Yeah. So that itself, and people are suffering because I mean there are lands which are encumbered because there are so many parties, right? And the only asset they have is a claim to that land, right? When it takes 30 years. The amount of hardship it brings to the people is unbelievable. Now, if these are not accelerated, if the Justice Minister fails to see this, right? I mean, this is a grave crime perpetrated on the people of this country.
And there's a question from a viewer, Maitri: how could a judge give bail after eyewitnesses identified all suspects in Hirunika's case?
No, bail. If it is a bailable offence, the judge is bound to give bail. But until the identification is done, he cannot grant bail.
So if it's a non-bailable offence, how long can you keep that person?
Maximum is 14 days. Unless it is murder or rape or something like that.
Yeah.
But if it is a non-bailable offence, 14 days is the maximum period you can keep.
All right. So to talk about other bailable and non-bailable offences, we'll do that right after this short commercial break.
Newsfirst Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.
Good morning and welcome back to Newsline with Bandhu Jayasekara and our guest tonight, this morning, Maitri Gunaratne. So, non-bailable offences, like offences, let's say, under the Public Property Act, can you get bail?
No, you can only get bail under the Public Property Act if you can show exceptional circumstances.
Right.
If the magistrate is satisfied with those exceptional circumstances, he can grant bail.
Okay.
Otherwise, you have to go to the High Court and seek bail from the High Court.
Right. Even there, you'd have to
show exceptional circumstances.
I see. So we seem to have a good system in place.
Oh yeah, systems are in place.
Yeah.
There are all people manning the systems too.
Right.
Everything is in place.
Right.
What you need to do is to crack the whip.
Right.
Now, for instance, in this Hirunika's case, if the law took its own course,
yeah,
and if she was arrested, produced before the magistrate, I mean, someone else before doing a thing like this will think twice. So when there is some sort of immunity for parliamentarians or people who are connected and in holding high office,
yeah,
when there is immunity, right, then they think this immunity, they can do anything with this immunity. So that is where things have to be put into place. If that had happened, I mean, you wouldn't have been asking this question.
Well, this sort of
we'll have to ask the question even tomorrow. When it's completion of one day, we have to ask.
You have no. Otherwise, if the law took its own course, you wouldn't have been asking this question today, right? So by the very act, by doing this type of thing, you're putting in peril the Yapalanaya motto we have all stood for.
Nepotism.
Well, this thought process that this immunity sort of impregnates and encompasses your entire life was probably one of the principal reasons why one chap by the name of Mahinda Rajapaksa finds himself without the executive presidency's job, because clearly there was deep unhappiness about the lawlessness and this sort of immunity that was enjoyed by those that were close to that presidency.
Definitely.
But how much of that do you think is actually changed now, a year later?
I think there is much more discipline than before. But I would say for us it will take a little time, because these police commissions, when they for them to start getting operational, right, it will take a little time. For instance, now if you take this government, for the last maybe 7 to 8 months, there wasn't much action which was taking place. But now you can see slowly things are moving into place. Because when the 100-day program was on, I mean, government officials thought, okay, after the 100 days there's going to be election, there's going to be another change, so we don't need to work so seriously. Then with that came the election. So there was nothing happening at that time. But what I feel is now slowly things are taking place. But I would say that His Excellency the President will have to play a more assertive role in governance of this country.
He has to crack that whip.
He has to crack that whip.
Not only for Enrique, but he has to crack the whip.
He has to crack the whip. He has to play an assertive role, because people have trusted him. The mandate was given to him for this change.
In fact, he is the only one with a proper mandate.
With a proper mandate, and he is the only one whom the people have trusted. So he cannot abdicate his right by giving it to the Prime Minister and thinking that the Prime Minister is going to do it. That much I must say. President Maithripala Sirisena is the person the people trust, and not only the people, all communities. One serious issue we had during the previous regime was communities were marching apart. Right? But after the change, for us, I feel all communities have come together. That is a major achievement in this country.
Indeed.
Right? That's a major achievement, because just imagine if all three communities started going in 3 different directions, what it would have been in another 5-6 years' time. There would have been total chaos in this country.
Okay, true, but people, are running out of patience.
That is, of course, I agree about it. I mean, there is no argument with that.
Maitri, with your permission, Faraz, now this month, lots of people are legal eagles. They all want to be President's Council. What's happening to this President's Council issue? They have to apply. What's happening? It has become a joke.
Basically, Bandula, I feel that these titles should be conferred. If the very fact of applying is unacceptable. Right?
Some senior respected lawyers, they don't apply.
No, they don't. I know now. Mr. Gomin Dasiri, right? He has made immense contribution to the legal profession. An extremely independent person. Right? Now, he's a person who well deserves that title. So, and I know him for a long time because I worked under him. Right? And he's a person who will never go and ask for it. Now, my former senior, Mr. S.L. Gunasekar, who is no more. Right now, he was a highly respected criminal civil lawyer. He would never go on asking for it. But if it was conferred, it can be some members of the judiciary, some members of the Attorney General's department. They can have a council which will sift and decide. Okay, we will confer this on maybe 5 people or 6 people per year, and it should be offered to them. Then this question is not. But when you have to apply and it's all political camp followers and all asking for it, then sometimes irrespective of criteria, powers that be are compelled to give it.
Cannot the Bar Association intervene and say, let's work on guidelines?
Can. Because I remember when Mr. Upul Jayasuriya was the president of the Bar Association, and under the previous regime, when they were haphazardly appointing judges and people like that to top high places, the Bar Association wrote to His Excellency Mr. Mahinda Rajapaksa and told, please try to follow this criteria, at least because when appointing judges to the superior courts. And during the last stages, it was maybe during the last 6 months of his tenure, I think thereafter they tried to follow it.
But the Bar Association also is politicized.
Is it?
Yeah, it was. Not present, so belong to one party.
No, what happens is, Bandula, the Bar Association is a lawyers' association, and we'll say when there is an election which comes up, then it takes a political form, because if the government at that time is getting unpopular, and if a candidate who contests for the Bar Association is from that party, is not going to find it easy to win the support. So at that time, I would say the government was getting unpopular, and the judiciary was at peril at that time. So a person like Mr. Upul Jayasuriya, when he came forward, he was supported because he was perceived as a person who can fight the government, who can take the challenge to the government, which he did very, to be very honest, he did an excellent job as president of the Bar Association. So I feel, it can be quasi-political, the Bar Association. If the government is doing the correct thing, Bar Association doesn't have to interfere. If the government is doing the wrong thing, then the Bar Association will certainly have to step in.
But it looks like when you say that the former president was making all these sort of haphazard appointments, much to the dismay of the Bar Association, that the Bar Association recognized that this was a deliberate ploy to break down the independence of the judiciary. Which is obviously not acceptable in a democratic society. So, can the present president do that? Can the present prime minister do that?
No, with the independent commissions coming in, what they can do is they can recommend a name. Then the commission will decide whether this person is good or bad, or he's suitable or not. So, vis-a-vis that, it is not one person's prerogative to appoint.
Right.
And you will not be able to bring someone from the outside, like from nowhere, if he doesn't have the qualifications, if he doesn't have the seniority, and get past the Constitutional Council. So as far as that is concerned,
So
there are these checks and balances which are coming in. The point is for us for it to take into effect.
Yeah.
Now, there has to the present batch will have to slowly fade away, and then the new people who have been appointed under these commissions.
So it's a process.
It's a process. It's a process, and the other thing is people have to have confidence in the process.
Yeah.
Right? They must know. Okay, when I'm appointed, I don't have to pay puja to anyone.
Right.
I mean, I just do my job. I do what is right. Right? So when that psyche comes into you,
yeah.
right? I suppose things will start changing.
Now take, for instance, the Human Rights Commissions. They write to the President, say, abolish the capital punishment. But look at the papers today. How many rape cases? How many abuse? So the people are wondering, okay, this commission, where are they? They just say abolish. But people want, like we discussed, the closure. People want people to be punished.
What I'm saying is, I mean, the police, the investigation, the police have become so corrupt, so lethargic, right? It is unbelievable. You know, these matters could have been sorted out very, very easily, right?
But we have a minister in charge of the police, we have a defense minister, state ministers. What are they doing? What's their role?
They are doing everything other than their job. That's a problem.
Everything other than
their job. They are doing everything else.
Well, that's true, because we have reports in the last fortnight that one minister presented a cabinet paper on a matter that clearly wasn't within his purview, much to the annoyance of another minister under whose purview it was. Then we have some places where we have a couple of boards. So instead of one board of directors, we have two boards of directors. And so
both are paid? Or
I'm wondering whether they are both paid, and that may well be worth an investigative article. But it's ridiculous.
That's perfectly correct. Perfectly correct.
So but like you say, it's a process. So for the last so many years, people have been confident in this political patronage that they all enjoyed. So when Mr. Wickramasinghe and Mr. Sirisena have come in and are starting the process, you still have to reach the parts that the other beers don't, as they say in the ad. It takes time.
It takes time, but point is they must show that there is a concerted effort
right.
to see that this process is changed in
right.
spirit.
Right.
Not just bringing the law and just allowing it to take its own course, but the powers that be, and I would say especially His Excellency the President and the Honorable Prime Minister will have to see that this is implemented for the greater good of the country.
Yeah, because they are the two leaders.
Yeah,
so
for the greater good of the country.
They really should crack the whip.
Because the point is this: if they don't, and if they leave a half-baked process, then and if there is a change, then all these people are going to be in trouble again. So whatever you do now, do it so that no one can come and tamper with this.
Indeed.
No one can come and tamper with this. So it has to be done fast, because otherwise some of these guys are also going to go to the FCID and all these IDs like which you can see every day, right? If this process is not fully done and sealed.
Looks like that will happen.
Indeed. Maitri Gunaratne, thank you very much for having joined us this morning. And Bandhu, thank you for your support.
Thank you, Farah, your thoughts. And welcome back again.
Thank you very much. You notice I've got a nice tie.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe 120 pounds.
No, I don't know. My daughter gave it to me as a present. Work hard in silence. Let success make all the noise. On that thought, I wish you a great day from Newsline. Take care and God bless.
Newsfirst Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.